Okay, it appears that we're live. Welcome to the ski boot stream. Just wanted to go through today and check out what's coming out new for next season. It's that time of year where brands do their pre-releases and just show what they've been working on. So I wanted to start with here, the Cochise. So it doesn't look like there is too much new for the new Technica Cochise. A pretty awesome color. This sort of tomato red, I think looks pretty cool. Pretty standard as far as its construction, but the main thing that we can look at, you can see the inner boot there, and the main thing we can look at is they've upgraded the walk mechanism. So it looks like it's been beefed up quite a bit and actually has a locking mode on the very back. So no risk of it popping out when you're in ski mode. You can turn the T-ride dial and actually lock that into place. So I think that's pretty cool. Hey, Poo Poo Pew. Awesome name, man. Yeah, all the pre-releases. Some of it actually is already available in the States. I know some stores have gotten some gear early and are actually selling things already. After this Cochise, I think the next thing we can move on to is Delbello. So if I can move over to that. So this year, Delbello did more of like a video press conference on YouTube. And we'll just bring that up. Awesome. You've got the new Atomic. Yeah, that's great. I'll have a look at some of the Atomic because their new ski boots do look pretty awesome. So haven't really seen their skis yet. I've seen the new Ben Chetler graphic, which looks sick. Man, that's awesome that you're getting all this gear early. I'm actually really stoked to get to May and see shipments start coming in. But anyway, let's take a closer look at Delbello's range. I'll probably go a little bit quicker through this pre-release video, but it actually starts out with some really cool footage of their factory, and you can see them making the boots. You can see the molds. So I think that's real awesome footage to just check out first. It's obviously working with their race team. Really awesome to see this behind the scenes look inside. There's the molds you can see. Boot brands have always been really, I don't know, they always would hide all this really good footage or never bother to make it. But the injection machine's there. And I think that's just really cool to sort of see how they're sewing liners, molding the boots. What an awesome operation. Anyway, let's move forward. So the new thing that Delbello produced is a Quantum. So you can see here, had a look last year at the new Quantum boot, how it's sort of welded together in two parts, very light touring, you know, really mountaineering style boot. This is sort of the same, but probably beefed it up a little bit for the skiing. If we let it run through a little bit, this Quantum Free. It is in Italian too, so you got to read the subtitles. So one thing I think is great is they've got rid of that little lacing system. And they've actually gone to a more solid buckle and solid cuff. If I missed it, but they were looking at the original, I believe. All right, here we go with the Quantum Free.
vuole camminare per più ore, fino ad arrivare agli sciatori che per la prima volta approcciano il mondo dell'alpinismo. Questo scarpone infatti ha una chiusura.
You can see it there in the back behind him, just beyond his left shoulder, that blue one.
Entrata e uscita è anche prodotto ideale proprio per le persone non esperte di questo.
Hopefully they go to an image of it here soon.
Inserirli nel mercato anche ambito a due pezzi, sempre mantenuto dalla piattaforma Quantum, che questo modello muta in extra dual.
Okay, sorry, I should have had timestamps of this, but here we go. You can see how they've widened out the cuff onto this boot, make it a bit more solid, and then go into buckles rather than just relying on that lacing fixing system.
Garantisce una tenuta antero-posteriore eccellente e una trasmissione di energia puntuale e precisa. Il meccanismo posteriore è nuovo e interamente dedicato a questa linea, principalmente per due ragioni. La prima riguarda la facilità.
So there we can see.
Come chiaramente mostra l'animazione, l'uncino blocca il meccanismo.
Sort of like a pin hinge to fix it on the walk mechanism at the back. So locking place into well with that pin. Pretty much same as before, but again, beefed up. Beyond that, I think the only other thing Delbello has produced, and I'll see if I can scroll back here, looks like they have a Lupo MX. So we've got the Lupo HD, I think is their big burly PU boot that was released this year from memory. And now there was always the AX at 100mm last. Now it looks like they've brought in the MX at a 102. So that is another awesome option of getting wide fit for touring boots. That could be one that's really worth a look at and a great addition to Delbello's line also. Besides that, the only other thing I've seen from Delbello is an updated sort of more premium DS. DS a solo, I mean, looks pretty good. Nothing to write home about. So Quantum Free being delivered to stores in Feb, that's awesome. If you do get it in your hands, I'd love to hear what you think about it. Yeah, it looks pretty sweet. I'd love to try it out and get a ski on it. Again, not being able to travel, I can't see any of this stuff in person, so I'm just cruising the internet. So let's move on next to a little bit of K2 here. This is off New Schoolers Gear Talk. You can see we've got a BFC 120 grip walk. We've got an Anthem 115 medium volume grip walk. And then we have a new one here. Looks like a Recon 120 low volume plus grip walk. And it is a boot that's made with two different colors, one red, one blue. I don't know how I feel about it. And I haven't seen the whole boot as an image yet. Pretty cool concept, I guess. You don't see it often, but I don't know. There is another little preview there on the lift. Seeing one red and black, one green and blue. You're probably going to get harassed in the lift line that you've stolen someone's boot or you've mixed them up. Anyway, the Recon's an awesome boot. So it's yet to be seen if they've done anything different from what I can sort of figure out looking around. But again, nice low volume, good all-round boot with the Recon. Moving on next, there is a new Lang XT Tour Pro. So going forward from the XT3 range, expanding to another option, and looks like it's just more of that dedicated touring boot with a full Vibram rubber sole. That one looks pretty sweet. Hopefully they're saving a bit of weight on this boot also. It comes in that iconic Lang blue and orange. So definitely probably one of the fastest touring boots you can use to get uphill. And yeah, that's pretty sweet. Again, there is the new colorways of the new Lupo. Possibly one of them is the MX. I'm not 100% sure there either. A new head Raptor in black, which I think looks absolutely awesome. So just their burly, solid Raptor race boots that if you know, you know. Doesn't look like there's much new for innovation. Probably still that liquid fit liner, looking at that image. Also, the Spine-Tech buckles look to be what they've done for the last few years. But then at the front, extended toe box. Now, don't know how I feel about extended toe box. The Raptor's already a pretty long fitting boot. So that would definitely cause me to downsize in it. But again, why not open it up, get some good space there in the front of the Raptor. A very cool looking boot in black and yellow. And then, oh, sorry guys, I haven't been sharing the screen. I'm going to actually then click back. Still stuck on that Delbello one. All right, let's talk through these again. What a moron. All right, starting here. Hopefully that's sharing. There we go. There is the new Lupo colors. So hopefully, as I said, one of them is the MX, the new 102 last. That will be awesome. Let's go next screen. Can't believe I just talked through all of those. I wasn't sharing them. So that is the new Recon in 2 colorways. So a blue and a red. Again, it's different. Got to give them credit for doing some new things. There it is. I will get better at live streaming, guys. Sorry, that is bloody... Yeah, I am better at boots than computers. Shit, this is... Oh, yeah. Last week was bad, but I think I am topping it this week. Let's see if we can share this one. Be really good if what you clicked on actually shared on the screen. But anyway. Sorry, guys, I am getting this together. All right, and to show you the new head Raptor. So here it is in black and yellow. Like I said, liquid fit liner looks to be still in place. Shouldn't boots be red, green like boat lamps? Yeah, probably should. Might be the use for them if the Recons aren't doing as good as they previously were. Yeah, one on each side of the boat would be a pretty good way to signal where you're headed. Anyway, let's go next screen. All right, sorry. One sec. Next screen. The last thing we need to look at. All right, we'll go to this one. I can't find the other screen with the boxes that had the BFC and the Anthem and the Recon, but we had a quick look at the Recon. Nico. Yeah, great to see from Europe, from Norway. Awesome. So I hope winter's going all right in Norway. What else we got? The Blade Van. That head looks wired. Yeah, it is pretty sick, pretty solid, no doubt. The Raptors are always a very solid boot. Anyway, let's take a closer look. Yeah, the new Atomic with One Nerdy Kid with Matt. He has made something pretty cool here. So this is the new Hawks Prime Professional. So looks like he's made a hello from Larks. Awesome. Switzerland. Had a mate just go to Switzerland. Sorry, get back to this boot. So with this new Professional series, looks like Atomic have now included back in their range a foam injection liner. Now, again, opinions on this, I'm going to have to see it in person. Foam injection can be absolutely awesome if it's done right, and it can also be absolutely atrocious if it's done wrong. So apparently this is a little bit easier to do, so maybe a bit more boot fitter friendly. And it's probably not the whole liner that's getting the injection material, probably just in around the ankles and heel. So matching that with the Mimic foam that Atomic produces could be a really exceptional liner. It's definitely for the guys, I guess, like us that want to tinker with boots, are very into it, and really, want to get things dialed in very precisely. Also, you can see at the top, they've got a double power strap. They're calling this dual straps professional. So don't know how I feel about that too. Would have been nice to, I guess, maybe Atomic if they'd Google that before naming it. But again, they made that's a patented double strap, dual strap. They've had that since like 2013. So I don't know if they've trademarked it. Maybe the name belongs to them. I might need to rebrand the version I've created, but mine work completely differently to how theirs work. So I don't think there's any issue in that regard. But let's be chill. Let's hope there's no lawsuits going to come. But yeah, I may need to rebrand the dual straps. Of course, mine working one on the inside, one on the outside, rather than one stepped above from the other. Anyway, back to the boot itself that we're looking at here. This Hawks Ultra Professional Series, and I think they're actually doing it maybe with the extended as well, but just giving a lot of options for custom fitting, molding, and seeing this injection liner come back into like a modern boot could be cool, could be problematic. That's yet to be seen. It'll be interesting to see how they go next year. David Senior has given me a super chat. Awesome, man. Thank you so much. £5. That's absolutely amazing. I'm not here for cash, guys, so don't worry. You don't have to send me super chats, but I really appreciate that. It is awesome. Hi from the UK. Man, I feel for you guys on a serious lockdown, not being able to travel over to Europe to get some skiing done. That it sucks, to be honest. I think that's shit. Had a few guys from the UK in contact with me this year, and I really feel for you. I'm in the same boat with not being able to travel, but we're at least not locked down as crazy as you guys are. So anyway, hopefully you can get to Scotland and hopefully they have a good season up there this year, or at least if they can absolutely stop all this craziness and let you guys travel again. I'm not going to go too far into coronavirus and my opinions on it at all. But it's mental, and you guys all know that. Hey, from Scotland, man, are you guys skiing up in Scotland? Great to hear from you. David, Atomic boots fit my feet and needs. Awesome. What model are you in, David? And do you like the look of this new Professional Series? If you think you'll pick a set of those up, that will be awesome. Skied 6 out of the 7 days, back from a knee injury. Everything is closed but ski resorts. Well, at least they've got them still open. That is a good thing. Even just for everyone's mental health, be able to go out and ski is probably one of the best things that you can do. So I'm glad that they're keeping these open for you guys. That is crap about everything else being shut. How are stores? Boot Fit's still going on? It's something I'd actually like to know in certain places. I can imagine it's probably a little bit challenging this year with masks and, I don't know, you're boot fitting in between Perspex screens or something crazy. Yeah, that might be a bit of a challenge. Got Powder here, touring massive at the moment in the Highlands. That is awesome to hear. So Scotland getting the power, that's good. So if you're in the UK, get up there. If Boris will let you get up to Scotland, go get some of the power. Boot fitting closed. Damn. So, all right. Everyone's relying on their current boots or yeah, what are you buying online? You might have to, you know, fit them up yourself. It's kind of tragic. It's tragic for the ski business. Like that's tough. Yeah, in different areas. Buy online and deliver through a window in the store. Okay. So what about custom fitting? Is it anything that can be done? Are you dropping them back off at the window for a bit of tweaking? Interesting. Anyway, I'm just going to try find the screen to show you guys the XT3 Pro Tour because I don't think I showed that one. He'll customize by your description, but not allowed inside the store. Interesting. So yeah, well, that's good to hear. Hopefully it's working. Yeah, it's something that it is very complicated. And if there is a flare up here in Oz, you know, I'm sort of trying to think, well, what's going to happen here this winter? We've basically got 0 cases throughout the whole country, so there's no restrictions anymore. Everything's all good. But obviously, as cold and flu season comes back this winter, everyone's going to be feeling sick, going to get tested. What's going to happen with boot fitting? I don't know. It's going to be an interesting thing to deal with. So, yeah. Temps in Europe, -15. The resort's supposed to be -20 to 25 all week. Damn. Well, that at least is going to keep your snow in nice conditions. Let me see if I can find this share screen for just that one. Just so we can take a closer look at that Lang again. And has anyone seen any boots that I haven't found so far? Be interesting to see if there's something you can share with me. So we got the local Langai new XT3 130, more touring version, was not anywhere near a 130. Yeah, that's probably true. Like with the 130s in touring specific boots, they're not going to be a 130 simply from the plastics used and also the shell thickness. So touring boots 130 is never going to be a downhill boot 130. It's probably more in that, you know, sort of 110 range. But if you want to keep them light, if you want to get uphill quick, and you still want to have a bit of rigidity, basically it's just saying that it's the top of the line touring option that they you know offer. All right, I've just I'm absolutely useless at finding the right screen. Not that one. So just bear with me and I'll get to your questions in a sec. It's got to be this one. No. Did I delete the tab? I can't believe, honestly, guys, I'm this useless at running a live stream. It's actually pretty embarrassing how terrible I am. So I'm going to have to click every tab I've got going here. Unreal. And one last attempt. So I probably need to share or change what live stream software I'm using. I'm on Restream. Maybe I should use StreamYard because it just doesn't seem to make sense here. That is... All right, while I'm doing that, let's take a closer look at that head boot again. Yeah, I've closed it. Anyway, let me quickly find it again. Possibly it is... Ah, got it. I just scrolled up. There it is. So that's the XT3 Pro Tour. And yeah, like I said, it's got that iconic blue and orange lang. It looks sick. Going to be nice and fast. So that is a really cool boot. I can't wait to check out. Hoji Free 130. Feels stiff enough. My old Hawks 130 feels soft compared to them. Cool. Yeah, the new Hojis all look pretty good. And also another really great touring boot in that wide fitting option. You've got the narrow one, and then you've got a couple of options there in a 103.5 millimeter last. So a couple of those Hojis could be the absolute best touring boots for wide feet, and one that I think a lot of people should check out. Prefer the Hojis even in alpine bindings. Awesome. So solid enough to ski pretty hard in resort too. So online optics, tried on those Hawks, have found them really narrow in the foot. Yeah, well, the Hawks Ultra are quite a narrow boot. They do have good heel hold. They are moldable. So I guess you've got to find that balance whether the Ultra or the Prime is going to be the better boot for your feet. Skied my Cochise 130 2020 a ton in resort. Such a nice boot. Yeah, I'd agree with that. A lot of these, 130, 120 flex hybrid tourers still are an awesome boot in resort. There's nothing holding you back from just sort of skiing it as your all-rounder, your one boot quiver. Weight on that lang, I don't actually know yet. All I've been able to find is the picture. I haven't been able to see more of the specs. So again, maybe I've jumped in a little bit early on a live stream until I have more details on some of the boots, but I just get too excited this time of year and want to take a look at everything I can find. Yeah, so that's probably it. That's where I'm going to run through what new boots I've found. If there is any more, I might make a follow-up video when the details are in and when sort of everything has been released online. I wanted to maybe shift to a Q&A. So if anyone has any questions, throw them out at me. We can sort of go anywhere with this. And I'll stay on for another sort of 5-10 minutes and we can roll through anything there. But if you've been skiing today, let me know how it's been. How am I customized atomic holding up? I haven't actually skied that boot this year. I didn't get many days on snow, unfortunately. Couple of days in resort that I went on, I was mainly skiing parks. I was on my full tilt boots. And then the other days were all out in the backcountry, so I was on my S-Labs. Got a few new boots on order that I've got coming this year, so I can't wait for that. Moving into as my resort boot, going to go the S-Max. I'm going to possibly delve into a few different options for my backcountry boots and try a few things out. I want to get a set of Hojis. I also probably want to get Hawks Ultra extended, get into the narrow boot, mold them up, keep that fit precise, play with a few things there. And I'll probably update to that new 130 full tilt as my park boot, because when I skied that thing that last year in Colorado, it was absolutely insane. I did sell Cochise to a buddy who fit them really well to switch to the 2021 Hawks Prime XTDs. Save some weight and stick to regular boots in resort. Mate, it's all good. We're sitting here having beers. Awesome, man. I've actually quit drinking this year. Otherwise, I would be having beers with you. So I am going to have a very long year ahead with not drinking, but sticking to that resolution and trying to get the weight down. I'm running a few ultra races this year, so trying to keep the fitness up. But we'll see how winter goes. I'll probably get back on the beers. Got the Delbello new illmorrow just because of how it looks. Yeah, is that the one that's black and white, looks like the sneakers? Those things are sick. And the illmorrows are good with that intuition liner. Great park boot. I'm a big fan of it. Hey, Craig, discovered your channel, watched all your vids. Awesome, man. My feet are thanking you for all your tips, and cheers from Colorado. Thanks, David. Really appreciate the feedback, man. I'm actually hoping to improve my videos this year too. Like I want to do some things a bit better quality. I also want to offer a bit better content, I guess, a bit better information. So I'm stoked to hear that everything I have done already has helped. I look back at some of the old videos and it's almost cringeworthy how bad they are. But that's probably just my opinion, being a bit judgmental on them. Which full tilt is that? The new 130 first chair is the full tilt that I'm going to get into this year. The new tongue liner and how burly that boot felt, I'm really stoked on it. And that's one that I'll probably go between the S-Max and the first chair, depending on what day it is and what I'm doing. But that's solid enough to where, like, I'd probably ski that all day, every day, even on a fatter ski, just sort of ripping around in resort. Fat equals speed. That is true. Bit of extra weight gets you down a bit quicker. More force in your turns as well. So, yeah, that's where the beer will help along with that. Hey, Craig, I installed the new dual strap 2.0 on the liner sleeve on my Descendant 8s. Completely saved my packed out boots and cannot recommend the products enough. Well, thanks heaps, Marco. That is awesome. Yeah, the liner sleeve, honestly, probably one of the best things I've produced. It just grabs your heel and ankle so well, and the ability to customize it and get it onto any liner is just awesome. And hopefully a nice price point. Yeah, I'm so stoked on the liner sleeves. They absolutely saved my S-Labs from just being a squirrely little bucket in the back to now they are so primed and on point. So, yeah, I'm glad they're working for everyone else too. And the dual straps, I can never live without them again. Like I was saying earlier, I don't know if you're on, I may be rebranding those. I'd love to hear your opinions. I was thinking of a few different names. But if you've got an idea for a name of the dual straps, I don't want to get into any beef or any sort of litigation with Atomic. So that's just the thing. Like, they've always had their dual strap on their race boots. But they never really sold these straps as an aftermarket option, which is, I thought there would never be any problem. Since, well, back in 2015 is when I made the first iteration of the dual straps. So let me know your thoughts. I was thinking of changing the name to True Straps. Whether that is still any good, or if you've got an idea, let me know. No skiing for me this season. Did my ACL. That sucks, man. Yeah, knee injuries. The Craig straps. That's not a bad idea too. That's up there. That's an option. Yeah, knees, man. Knees suck. Do you have to get surgery? Hopefully it's just a bit of rehab for you. At least knee injuries, you know, treatment is getting a whole lot better. Let's just minimize that. Bring me back up a bit better. Strap-ons. The Patriot straps. Maybe Freedom straps. Patriots. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to figure something out there. And hopefully it still can be as successful as what it has been as I move forward with them. Yeah, a few other ideas in the works as far as power straps. Also, I don't want to get too early in the game, but I have been working a little bit on possibly bringing in a liner. But that is very early in the game, so I've got some ideas there that I think could be really good. Back to knee injuries, yeah. So it seems to be a real problem with us skiers. MCL burst dislocated knee. What on earth? How did you do that? That sucks. Skiing injury or something else? It's funny, a lot of people I talk to, they're like, walk in the shop on crutches and it's like, oh no, I was lifting a fridge down some stairs. So, yeah, that's the thing. Main thing with the knee, just build the strength back up. You've got to support it around. And yeah, hopefully you get a good surgeon to help sort you out with that. My girlfriend nailed me on skis. She's been working on getting her speed. Well, tough situation, but yeah, I guess she owes you for that. That is gnarly. All right. Has anyone found any other boots that I should take a look at? Best bit of ski gear I've bought is good health insurance, no doubt. Yeah, whenever you are out of commission from skiing or work, that insurance is an absolute godsend. Do you have any suggestions on punching posterior tibial DIY? So, where are you looking to punch posterior tibial? Just a bit more details on that, Stefan. You're getting a pressure point. Five to 6 weeks, I cannot ski again and not really supposed to. Yeah, well, 6 weeks, that's not too bad. You'll still get some of the season in, hopefully. The Delbello Free felt stiffer than the Core 1. At first, it felt kind of flimsy, but standing up there, charging down, it somehow came alive. Yeah, that can happen. That's an interesting is once you get boots on snow, once you get them in colder conditions, and once you actually put some energy into the boot, it actually feels like, you get a little bit more power through a boot. Once you start getting that deformation and putting some energy through the boot, they can react differently. And that's all comes down to construction and plastics. But yeah, that's also something that's hard to communicate in shop is boot just standing in them, how they feel flexing in them to how they're actually going to ski on snow. There can be a bit of a differential. My mum insured me. She gets the payout. I'm almost 40. What? Spewing. So yeah, hopefully she passes on a few of the dollars to you and just doesn't go buy a new car and rub it in your face. Just below the inside above the heel. Yeah, so often, and is it the tendon that's giving you grief or are you getting a bit of a spur at the back? Often there I'm just going to be looking to maybe grind a pocket, depending on how sort of large the problem is or if it's a strain on your foot. Sorry, Stefan, can't answer very well without details or a bit of imagery there. But yeah, you're just getting stressed. Yeah, sorry, Stefan. Is it just sort of the width of at your Achilles at the heel pocket there? I'd definitely mostly be grinding in the back of the boot in that area, or I'd be doing some liner work, removing excess foam. A lot of liners are built up pretty hard in the back there. So if you're getting some strain, that definitely is going to be the approach. Grinding and liner work for sure. Punching there could be hit or miss. Definitely can punch boots in the cuff, and I've done it in a lot of occasions, sort of in weird spots. But it's not as easy, that's for sure. Mine was a powder run with piece skis on, with bindings too high, didn't know release. Yeah, that can be bad, especially depending on how you fall. I've been guilty of having bindings up a bit tight in my history of skiing as well, and I'm pretty lucky I haven't done anything major. But I'm always err on the side of I'd rather stay in and ride out the chaos than pop out and tomahawk. So as my knees get older, though, I certainly do approach that a little differently sometimes. Was my old boots, but getting tired in my arch on my left, but not having the same issue now. So is it possibly more forwards in the boot? Just going to switch up the share screen so we can look at another boot at the same time. Delbello illmorrow has a wraparound liner. Never really used that before, and tongue can't open very much. Are they supposed to be like that? And any tips or tricks for getting them on easy? So the illmorrow 3-piece boot, wraparound liner. So wraparound liner, getting them on easy, like open the tongue the whole way and actually open the liner both ways from either side. Shouldn't, like generally with a boot like that, they're not too hard to get on. Are your buckles still connected? If you open just everything up, you should almost be able to slide into those boots. I was looking at a way to release, and someone said you could expand the inside below the knob, but above the heel to relieve the tension on the tendon. Possibly, yeah. Like if you are getting a weird strain on the tendon there, I'd start with liner work. You're instantly going to sort of feel the difference if it is relieving pressure, and then get the Dremel in there before you try punch anything. There is through the back, under the calf and through the back down to the Achilles, there can be some weird nerve pressures, and also you can cut off blood flow there, as well as sort of on the inside of the heel, on the medial side. Pressure there often sends people's toes to sleep. So also, being real vigilant and aware, any pressure coming in from the sides. And so this is where, it's not often seen or known in a boot. This sort of, everyone tries to target the exact spot up front, so to speak. If you're getting numb or losing feeling or something weird's going on through your arch or through the nerves, it can actually be further back on the boot, which is causing the issue. 2022 full tilt line looking pretty nice. After I switched to 3-piece boot, I don't think I can go back to regular boots. The full tilts, I'm a big fan. I'm not, stuck on only being a full tilt, but yeah, they do a great job, and I love the combinations that they put together. The Intuition liners, what they've done this 2022 line is next level and the best they've ever done. We can have a quick look. Let me just get rid of some of these tabs. I'll get back onto New Schoolers here, and we'll have a look at the new colorways of the full tilts. Sorry, I'm zoomed in too far. I'm just going to back it off so I can see. All right, gear guide here. All right, can I share screen now? Here we are. All right, let's just bring that up. And here it is. This is the new colorways of the full tilt line for 2022. So we've got the Ascendant Approach, the Sammy C now in a nice sort of yellow colorway. B&E going all white and red. They will get extremely dirty, but if you are an Idolo fan or a Wu-Tang fan, obviously you're going to love that colorway. The Classic Pro, I think, is pretty nice, slick looking. You got the Descendants there. Dropkick, the original. Dropkick Pro. I think that actually looks pretty sick with the khaki color. First chairs stayed the same. And that first chair 130, man, love that boot. Kicker plush. I'm not sure how the plush is, like going that yellow color as well, and the Soul Sister green. They're not very feminine, I guess, but Park Chicks hopefully will love their colorways. Got the Tom Willish Pro in a gray. And that is that. That's all they've really got on display on New Schoolers for new boots, of course, just full tilts. The tongue has limited travel in the Delbello illmorrow. That's the issue. Yeah, well, I think technique's just going to be everything for you, man. Let's just bring them up here. for website to load. All right, so let's bring up that illmorrow. So here's the illmorrow here, well, this year's version, and they do look absolutely sick. So you're finding when you release the buckles and you've got them completely loose, you're not able to draw that tongue all the way forward. Delbellos definitely don't fold as open as the full tilts. And you also do have that loop on the liner to try open and get some leverage. Not much you can do besides what is actually there. I know you possibly could put your liner on first and then step into the boot if you're having trouble regularly getting them on. But really with some leverage and just proper technique, hopefully you can get that dialed in. If I had a pair here, I'd probably try to show you a good technique. But yeah, sorry I can't be more helpful on that, man. Slow twisting fall, you're in trouble. Yeah, that's for sure. Going at it with the Dremel will start modifying soon. Awesome. Good luck with it, man. Anything excited for 2022 that you can fill us in on? Earlier in the stream, I went through some boots for 2022, and yeah, there's some nice options there. A few things to get hyped on, and yeah, I think there's some great stuff coming up next year. I can slip into my Hawks Prime 130s in seconds. At 110 kilos, I can pretty much push down into anything by just putting weight onto it, but not illmorrow. Right. Well, there you go, man. Awesome. Well, there's some feedback. Obviously, it's a bit of a crap boot to try and get on. And yeah, sorry, I wish I could be a bit more constructive with the feedback there. Tongue only moves about 5 to 6, 7 centimeters from top. Yeah, okay, fair enough. And it's probably all to do with their little mounting bracket on the front of the tongue, and they actually bolt that into place with a little screw and T-nut, and also probably not as flexible as sort of the full tilt comparison. Cool, guys. Well, I hope that's been a good stream. Do you want me to stick around, or I might shut it down? A lot of people will probably tune in just to see the new boots. So I might even chop this into 2 videos. What's going to happen to all this season's European gear not sold? Well, it's a good question. Going to be going cheap down under if you buy some late season deals. Yeah, unfortunately can't really do that. We have our own distributors here, and they would not take kindly to us buying gear from overseas. But maybe they'll be able to source it from a lot of European places. The thing with Oz here in the industry here, we actually get our skis a year ahead of you guys. We actually get them a season before the States and Europe. So that's really nice to get all the new gear early because that's when their production lines are finishing for our winter. But we actually get the boots a year late. So that's pretty frustrating when you're pretty stoked on boots. You have to wait a while to actually get them or buy them when you're overseas. I think that's pretty horrible for all Europeans and North Americans with a lot of leftover stock. I was actually interesting to see, like, I thought this year there'd be a lot of carryover gear, a lot of new just colors only, or even running the same colors for 2 seasons for the reason of all the investment made. We're pretty lucky in regard here that we got through a lot of our stock in winter. A lot of stuff got cancelled. Stuff that was on shipping containers got turned around back to China. It was just a nightmare. There was all sorts of craziness going on. So whether things get discounted or whether they just get run through for another season, maybe at a discount into next season, it's yet to be seen. But I hope all the shops can sort of make something work for them and not take too much of a hit, as well as the brands supporting them in that regard. Otherwise, we may lose a lot of independent stores, and that's bad news. We don't want the ski industry to be all on Amazon. That's going to be a disaster. So just praying everyone can survive through it and find a way through and actually still have viable businesses going forward. Local stores on their third order for the season with a lot of stuff, not just to, and that's the funny thing. It also has had a different effect. And during our winter, we didn't see it. We just sort of had a half season. But as soon as summer hit, you look at things like the mountain bike industry, the motorbike industry. They have all just absolutely gone to the moon. People have had all this extra cash, not being at work, and they were even able to take over here. They were able to take their retirement funds, and they just spent it all on mountain bikes and motorbikes and new cars. And so things have some industries have been insane. And that's obviously been a boom over there in Europe, where people have just gone, I want to get outside, I want to go skiing, I'm going to buy a bunch of gear. So you might have the opposite effect. It might be a really lucrative season and things might actually clear out. They were so afraid but gambled and ordered more stuff than usual. In Norway, it's been impossible to get gear. All sold out, got lucky with the Delbello. Incredible. It's just insane. And that's probably because people cancelled their shipments, not wanting to take the risk too early. It's a lot of money tied up, so I don't blame them in that regard. But yeah, that's cool to see that they've won big and things are working well. It's so good with all the doom and gloom that, getting 22-2 stuff early, unreal. So yeah, that's cool. Great to see. And I'm hoping we have a big bounce back here. Like, by all reports, you look at places, like my local resort, Perisher, they have been absolutely booming on season passes. So we might have one of the busiest seasons we've ever seen. Again, all depends on what the rules will be, what the restrictions are. But yeah, it looks like it'll be pretty solid because, especially here, people love to travel, love to go on their overseas snow holidays. A lot of people snub our local resorts to go to Japan, to go to America, to go to Europe, and they haven't been able to do that. So they are going to want to go skiing. So again, hope that only sort of helps everyone out and keeps things ticking along nicely. Yeah, well, man, that is awesome. I've actually had a great time on this stream. Thanks for joining me, guys. Do you want me to jump back in next week? I'll probably do one this time next week as well. I know you got all your ski touring setups already. Actually, there was a couple of questions from last week that I didn't get to, so I might quickly just go back to those. And let's jump back and see what those questions were. So one was about Dodge ski boots and what do I think about them? For Dodge, I actually think they're pretty cool. So that's a little East Coast indie ski boot brand. If I can just bring it up on screen, which we know I all have trouble with. There they are. So this Dodge, it's a carbon fiber boot, which I'm a big fan of. Like, I think carbon fiber has a big future in ski boots. Sort of yet to be seen. Atomic did carbon fiber in their cuffs a while back. They also do it in a few boots do it in their spines. Most carbon we're sort of seeing in the last couple of years has been on like cuffs of liners, that sort of thing. But yeah, this one is a full carbon, both shell and cuff. And you can see what's interesting is the curve in the back of the cuff. Now, I guess this is to help you get the boots on, to get your heel down. Because carbon's such a solid material, it's going to have great performance properties. It's going to be a really rigid boot. Laterally, good stiffness to the boot, but you might need that curve just to be able to get your feet into them. Probably inspired by the illmorrow, I guess. But yeah, an awesome independent boot brand, which are, they're doing some pretty cool things. You can see that the carbon, it's actually built in two different sides and then connected together through that plastic frame that's in the middle. So that's where that join occurs. I haven't tried them. I haven't skied in them. I'd love to get a pair. I'm likely, given the chance, I will order a pair when I've got the budget to do it. But yeah, it's really cool. They're doing basically where you scan your foot and they'll do any necessary adjustments to the boot before they ship them out to you. So yeah, something I'd love to ski on and give a bit more of a go at, and then I'd love to do a proper review on them. So that will be in the future. Stay tuned. If I can make it happen sooner rather than later, I'd love to do that. Stratton in Vermont has been booming. Lift line's the longest I've ever seen. That is insane. So good to hear that the east isn't restricted and people can actually get on snow. Yeah, I know some areas, like I was just tuned into the X Games earlier, and you look at the maybe 10 people skiing down in the resort. So I'm assuming a lot out west is on restricted numbers. If they've done anything here, like what Perisher was with Vale Resorts, early on you had to nominate your days that you were going to ski, and it was season pass holders who really got a lot of access. Yeah, about 50% capacity. So yeah, man, awesome. I know a lot of the smaller mountain resorts out east too have been absolutely booming, and that is great to hear too. But yeah, I guess the travel is probably where, so in the accommodation game and that sort of thing is probably going to be feeling the pinch. If you get there 15 minutes before lifts open, you get a full day, no lift lines. Absolutely unreal. So it's not all downside, I guess. Things are going well. They're not selling day passes on the weekends, only some work days. Okay, so you just got to go buy your full day lift ticket. And that's good if they're reasonably priced. They're doing the same thing here in Thredbo, which is my favorite local ski resort. I couldn't actually ski there at all this year because you had to pay $170 for a day of skiing. There was no season passes at all. So that is where it's restrictive for some people if you got to pay you the daily rate. I had to stop skiing on the weekends because the lift lines are unbearable. I'm in college right now and it's all online. So during the week, I ski day and work at night. Awesome. Great way to do it. The other way is if your local mountain has night skiing, it's a good way to just dip out there quickly and get a few laps in to keep the legs fresh and the skis turning. And basically I'm just personally going to do more backcountry days. I know the lift lines are probably going to be insane here this year with the demand being higher. 4 to 5 people lift in front of me when I snuck in the back door at 11:30 last week. Bluebird day. Nice. Closed everything in Scotland as far as I know. That is not cool. You just said there was power. Man, UK sucks this year. Sorry to hear that, man. Here, food is open, pharmacy, tattoo stores, and ski resorts. As long as you can still get a tattoo, that's what's most important in life. We'll forgive you if it was Bluebird. Thoughts on the Atomic Professional Series next year? Yeah, I think it's absolutely unreal. We did have a quick look earlier on in the stream at the Professional Series. Really cool for guys like us that really want to tinker with their boots. It's just going to be interesting to see how they go with the foam injection liner. The Mimic liners were awesome. Now adding that ability to sort of fill in is going to be great for precise fitting. Whether it's successful or not, we'll see. Apparently it's a lot easier than traditional foam liners, but whether that scares off certain shops from bringing it into their range, for the ability to go wrong, the warranty on it, the having to replace ones that go bad, costs start stacking up. And so, places may do it for a year, see if it works for them. How big this will roll out, I'm not sure. Especially if you have a shop where you have to get your boots from a window, how are they going to do your foam injected liner? Like if things don't, improve and get back to normal as far as boot fitting in ski shops, it's not going to be a very viable product. It's a cool product. It's great, bringing that tech back in, it really allows for a lot of customization and allows things to get locked in. Whether that works in a practical sense, we'll see. As a retailer, I just worry about such an expensive price point, and that's it. That's absolutely the case. It's going to be a premium option for that type of customer. We have so much choice these days too. You've got your zip fits, you've got your, if you were doing foam liners, you've already got that option there, and it's adding cost on. Where this professional series will be from a price point perspective, I imagine it's going to be up there. In Australia, that's likely going to be in that $1,200, $1,300 sort of price point, maybe more. You look at some of the other boots in this premium category, the 130 flexes, the premium range touring boots, you're looking at $1,500 plus in Australia, which starts to get insane. I know it's likely things like the dollar and that sort of thing in the States. That same sort of boot is that sort of $700, maybe $600, $700, $800 price point. But yeah, it starts to become a point where, if you're spending that much money, it has to be completely dialed and on point. And, it's a lot of investment sitting there in your boot shelves if you can't get them onto people's feet. So I really like it. The dual strap, they're looking like they're selling that as an aftermarket option. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. There was rumors there too that they were going to change their strap to not just be purely just the two straps, one above the other, static. I heard that one was going to be elasticized like a booster, which is likely going to be the cuff strap sitting below. Because boosters patents has expired and allows other people to add that springiness, I guess, to the power strap. So that could be cool, good combination. So Pro Series, really cool. They look sick. And yeah, it will really, it just adds options. But it's also, when you're probably looking at a Hawks Ultra and then a Hawks Ultra Pro, can you justify talking the customer into that upgrade? Maybe, and it's something that with that liner, you're not going to know if it works for you until the foaming is actually done. So when you can put someone's foot in the regular Hawks Ultra and it feels good, they might just be happy with that boot. And that's where it's someone that's going to commit to you fitting them. And if you think it will work, then it's going to be a really successful boot option. The shelf life of the liners and equipment wasn't wasted with stuff like color change for every season. So you can have the same stock for 2 to 3 years as a retailer. I guess it would help. That's for sure. And a lot of people don't really care. Some people are funny on colors, but, we always try get through the stock that you've got that year and possibly sell a little bit at a discount if you have to. At least they have not called it Patriot dual strap, I guess. It's something that's ticking through my brain as what to do. Craig straps might be on the cards. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. There's a lot of production costs, that is for sure. When they swap collars yearly, or is it mainly just switching the dye in the same molds? Yeah, it's really just switching the plastic dyes, the colors that they use. So the molds will stay the same often. You've got the inner and outer mold that they're working with on that boot model, and they'll run that for sort of most likely 5 or 6 years. And they're just really changing up colors. Sometimes they'll do little tweaks to the inner last, and then often they're just changing possibly something in the liner and making little tweaks to the boot. But yeah, with $1 million per mold, they don't, change them every year. But yeah, obviously there's a ton of production costs in making new boots every year. Also, there was another question last week. Sorry, I'm just going to have a quick look at what it was. If I go back to the comments section. Oh, thoughts on the Nautica Pro Machine 110. Yeah, that is a boot I do like a lot. The Pro Machine in the last few years has been just an outstanding boot from Nautica. Let me bring up the 110 version. What I really like about Nautica's Pro Machine is their cork liner. It is, without a doubt, an exceptional amount of heel grab with that liner. But also the plastics they use in the Pro Machine. So Pro Machine took over from the GPX boot that Nautica did, which I had a lot of success fitting people into. That was a phenomenal boot, and they've basically just improved it. So if I bring it up here, we can take a closer look. This is the 110 in a nice slick black and red. And yeah, so what they did is basically updated to grip walk soles. It is infrared, so it's moldable. Triforce construction, so a more solid frame, reinforcing the boot. And yeah, if you can get a few other views of it as it slowly loads. But it just has a really nice stance geometry, has Primaloft in the liners too, so nice and warm. And I just feel it has a good amount of power and flex. And it's a boot that, yeah, skiing in, it just feels great. It's solid, it's dependable, it's a great shape. And yeah, a real winner from Nautica with the Pro Machine. So, yep, a real winner. I love that boot, and yeah, that can be a great one for you. Don't worry, your customer service is... Oh, well, thanks, man. I appreciate that. It is something... It's a small operation here, so I can focus on customer service. Do you believe boot performance over the last few years has declined due to companies try to push lower boot weight? Not necessarily. I think what companies are trying to do is get more performance into lighter boots. There's always still the performance there if you want that true alpine or racing, just your carving boot that you want a lot of, power through, a lot of force into your skis. That's always there as an option. But why they're all going lightweight, I mean, there's a few reasons, and you can see the backcountry touring has pushed it over the last sort of 5 to 10 years, and that market is what's expanded the ski industry. More people are getting into that side of skiing, so that is really what's pushed a lot of these boot guys into creating lighter boots. But when you do think about it as well, from even just a generic, regular recreational skier, having lighter boots is only a plus. So getting a boot that's not as heavy to walk around in, not as heavy to carry, and because they're not looking at a super high performance boot, a light boot is absolutely a benefit. So there's even a lot of push into that recreational side of things. A lighter boot is a good idea. Thinner shell walls saves on plastic, so maybe production costs are also saved on a little bit there. So there's a lot of reasons for it. And I think, yeah, getting where they'll hit the sweet spot is when they can possibly find a really good lightweight plastic that does it all. And they may be able to do that with plastics. They may be able to do it in how they're building the boots. That gives you the best of both. You look at some of the 130 hybrid tourers and they are hitting that mark. There's always room for improvement, but I think there's definitely some options there that do ski very solid, especially when you're in the colder temps, but are lightweight and also, good uphill capability. What flex do they go to on the Nautica? They go up to a 130 in the Pro Machine. I don't think they've added anything else into their line. And it's yet to be seen what Nautica are doing for 2022. Likely they will only be sticking with what they've got and possibly going into some other colorways. But we'll see. Maybe they haven't released their pre-releases for next year just yet. Yep, you're looking at that. If you're going to step up above the 130, you'd go into the race series of boots anyway. Thinking of going 4-buckle again? Yeah, why not? Always good. If you have that capability to have a few different boots on the go, that's something I like to do. And you can sort of, depending on conditions or what you're skiing, and just, why not? good to have some options. I feel weird in anything not a 4 buckle, yeah. And that can be the thing, you know, you do get used to your boots, so changing it up can really throw out your skiing, not only from how locked in you feel, but also from a stance perspective. You get into something that's too upright or something that doesn't lock you in the same way as another boot, and you can just ski like an absolute Gumby, full backseat, or, you know, things just go wrong. So once you do get something dialed in, keeping that pretty similar is usually a good way to go. I'm a big fan of 3-piece boots, but I always go for the ones with stiff tongues. Yep, I'm pretty similar in that regard. I love 3-piece boots, both in touring and in park setups. I think they're pretty nice. Because I've always been heavier. Last year I was in the 93 kilo range, so I think that's like 205 pounds. And yeah, I was crushing a lot of boots. I've since lost a bit of weight, so, you know, we'll see this year how my boots feel as far as stiffness. But yeah, definitely, you know, having that feeling and that, you know, that solid rebound of the stiffer tongues. Anything, you know, the lower tongues do feel a bit noodly, but again, it depends on how aggressive you ski and your weight. I will admit that was a problem for me, which is why I picked up the liner sleeve. My heels are now locked in. Thanks, Marco. Yeah, liner sleeve is sick for locking in your heels. I like a 140 on hot days, definitely. 140 flex boots, nice and serious, but yeah, but as it gets to springtime and you still want to ski hard through the slush, you know, a lot of boots will feel really, you know, collapsible. They won't have enough rigidity there. So getting into a stiffer boot, 140, you know, 150, 170 even if you're game, yeah. I'm 190 and 110, skied for 30 years, so I find everything soft, no doubt. 93, not for my frame. Yeah, I'm probably 5'10", so yeah, a bit of a fat bastard in that regard. But yeah, at 190 and 110, man, you should be in the ring or playing basketball. But yeah, no doubt you power through a lot of boots. What skis are you on, man? What are you skiing around on? What's been your weapon of choice this year? Do you know how many times you can reheat a liner, the Sedas, for instance? Depends how many days you've skied on them. Now, if they're brand new, you'll probably be able to reheat 2 or 3 times. So, you know, just to be able to manipulate them a little bit more. If you're doing more than that, you're not achieving anything. Also, if you're reheating a liner that you've skied for a season in, it's going to do absolutely nothing. It's just going to break them down more and make them absolute useless. When you're heating a liner, you're not going to get any sort of reduction in size. You're only going to get expansion of the fabrics and the foams. So when you're reheating a liner, it's to relieve pressure. It's not to draw in and get extra tension. So you definitely can reheat a liner a couple of times when they are pretty new. But if they are getting old and they're getting loose, you're going to have to replace the liner. Now, I did hear possibly that the new Mimic liner can be remanipulated, but I'm not sure on that. I'm going to have to look into that. It was probably more reference into getting that foam injection in. Are the Raptors worth it? I like the Raptors. The Raptors are a solid boot. They're worth it. It depends on how you're skiing, what you're doing, what you want your boots to do for you. Fit is absolute key with any boot above anything. Depending on what model of Raptors you're going for too. The 2021 version was insanely good. I loved skiing in that boot. A lot of power, their new plastic compound, an absolute winner. The 2022 model, which is, if I still have it up here, black and yellow, looks absolutely sick. So it's probably going to be a stiffer version again. So you're going to have an even more solid flex out of this black and yellow, which I'll show you here. So that's where it steps it up again as far as, you know, that little bit of difference. As the plastic's color changes, the properties change as well. And a black boot in cold temperature is going to be stiffer than a white and red boot. That's for sure. Yo, I'm in a Raptor 140. Nice. Good choice. Solid boot. Yeah, one that's very enjoyable. What are those hot days you talk about? I think we had a few of those hot days in 6-7 years ago in Easter. Yeah, they happen a little more often here in the Southern Hemisphere. So, you know, we're getting days in spring in September, which are plus 10 degrees Celsius. So the snow gets pretty mushy, grabby, and yeah, you're out there in a t-shirt because it's kind of warm. Through midwinter, though, we don't have that problem. We're usually hovering around the -5, -10. When we've got some good storms coming in with some good snow, keeping it nice and cold, we're hovering around that sort of -5 to -7, and especially in the mornings, can warm up in the afternoon. But you will notice the difference in boots as the temperature changes there and as conditions change. Definitely in spring, getting into that stiffer boot is going to make a difference. I have 40 to 50 pairs of skis. Nice. I'm probably in that realm somewhere too. The charging front side, I'll use a Mantra 102. Nice. Nice and solid for your frame. Titanium in it. So, yeah. Or a Deacon 84. Again, awesome. Nice, solid Volcal skis. Fisher 102 freeride, even for some park. Good choice. New favorite is Justice, or just grab some Fish GS and go nuts. What is the Justice? I'm not familiar with that one. Is that an independent brand or is that a Fisher? For the year 2021, have you seen any notable ski boot releases that probably won't get updated in the next few years? I'd say about 80% of boots won't get updated in the next few years. We will see what happens there. For 2021, so this current year, racking my brain a little bit. Give me a bit more context on the type of boot that you're looking for. And yeah, I'm happy to go more in depth with that question. Whether you just want sort of a good all-round resort boot. One boot for 2021 that won't change, which I think was an awesome addition, was the Salomon Shift boot. Just a good hybrid all-rounder, really low to ski stance, really good walk mode, and just an insanely comfy liner. Yeah, pretty happy with that Shift. I think that's a good one. So if anyone picked up that boot, I'd love to hear how that's skiing for you. Wearing the Head Raptor 140, my liquid fit moves from one day to the next. It sucks. Every day I have to ski a lap or two to allow the paraffin to settle in. Any ideas or tips so it stays in place? Unfortunately, no, I don't have any tips on how to get the liquid fit to stay in place. I'm sure that is a problem, especially with taking your boots on and off. You know, you're going to have your heel pass past these paraffin pockets, and even that pressure is going to, you know, force it to divert into a different place. So I guess the theory with the liquid fit is it does have the ability to move around and fill in the voids. Yeah. My only solution would be completely remove it, get it out completely, and maybe try a liner sleeve or an injected liner or a zip fit liner that holds in a little more solid. Yeah, I guess that's something that you're dealing with. That sort of sucks, but as long as you can get a couple of warm-up runs and if it all gets back into place, well, that's a good thing. And yeah, maybe just go for a sneaky coffee in the morning, get the warm-up happening before you get your boots dialed. That sucks on a power day when you really want to beat everyone to the punch. All new Mimic liners for 2021. I have them for XTDs. Seem very good so far. Atomic said they wouldn't update the XTDs for 2022. Yeah, cool to see. Black Crows. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the Black Crows, awesome skis. Are they a touring setup for yourself? Yeah, they've been something that's actually gone off here in Australia. A lot of people jumping on the Black Crows. And the store next to me, Gravity, has been absolutely selling a ton of them. Yeah, I can sort of vouch for those skis. They are pretty awesome. Basically an Atris and a Camox with titanium. Yeah, awesome. So a fast charging. What's a good boot for heavyweight skiers under $1,000? In your opinion, maybe 3 options. So heavyweight skier, I'm assuming you probably have a broader, wider foot. If it's just going to be a good all-round resort boot, I'd probably say S-Pro High Volume, really good option. Hawks Magna. And third option, off the top of the head, I would say Mark 1 High Volume from Technica. Lightweight resort boot. Yeah, so basically you could look at those Atomic series. You could look at the S-Max series. That's not going to change. You could look at the Pro machines we were talking about before. Or if you're looking at sort of really lightweight with the hybrids, the head core is a really nice option. The Cochise is a really nice option. Yeah, there's a lot in that realm. There really is so much to choose from. I could just list every brand's option in a lightweight resort boot. You should be pretty spoiled for choice. Most aren't really going to change in the next couple of years, I wouldn't anticipate. Trying to get the pink ones, it's friggin' impossible. Is that for the Lang RS? That would be a pretty cool boot to get your hands on. Thanks, bud. Your boot mod fit videos are rad. Thanks, man. I'm hoping the next ones will be even better. I enjoy making them. And yeah, time this previous year in 2020 was my biggest battle. I was pretty caught up in really dealing with the chaos and trying to not go broke, essentially, trying to stay in business. It didn't allow me to pay much attention to making videos. I was really just all focused on 100%, trying to keep things in order, keep the bank happy. So, yeah, this year I'm turning my attention back to it, and I'm really going to create some really good boot content. Through my winter, as I can get my hands on boots, I'll do some reviews. Also, I want to do some more in-depth boot fitting videos. And if you have any suggestions, throw them at me. I'm more than happy to create some videos on what you guys want to see. All right. So look like you're getting a good deal on the 2022. They'll also be pink. 230, is that euros or pounds? Pounds, probably. That is nice and cheap. A very good deal. I love my Atris, but miss the metal sometimes, like my Mantras had. Yeah, for sure. Getting any ski with titanium in it is going to feel a whole lot more solid. You say it's my favorite Black Crows ever. I have the Nocta, Atris, Camox, and the Justice. Tested and owned a few before. So you're getting the whole range there, man. That is unreal. Bergzite. What on earth does that mean? Cool. Awesome, guys. Well, I'm probably going to call that a wrap. That went way longer than I anticipated. Thanks heaps for joining me. That was a lot of fun. That ended up being an hour and a half stream. So yeah, I probably do have to cut just the start of this video in, simply because we've done a bit of Q&A since then. And a lot of people will tune out. But yeah, thanks heaps for joining me. Really appreciate it. I'm going to be here same time next week. So if anything pops up through the week, if we see anything new, it'd be great to chat about that. Also, if you've got any boot fitting questions, if you've got any opinions that you want to throw out to me next week, we'll get on and chat again. So thanks heaps. Hope you have a great week. And this has been the Ski Boot Stream. Thanks, Daniel. Great to see you, man. Hope everything's going well. All right. Awesome, guys. Beard is nice. Thanks, man. 2020 was the year where it justified growing a beard. Yeah, I know I look a bit old, but I am getting up there in years too. So the beard is probably going to be sticking around. Anyway, I'll see if I get my youthful vigor back and shave it off. When will the dual straps be back in stock? They are going to be back in stock hopefully this week. Somehow I had a massive run on them in the last 2 weeks, and I completely sold out of the standard size. There's still some XLs in stock, but they are sitting there in a box in the warehouse. They've got to get received and put into the system, and there's still been some big delays, which is super frustrating to deal with. So hopefully this week they will be back in the system ready to go. If you can shoot me an email, I can actually send it out to you as soon as they're ready to ship. And that's been tough to deal with because I know a lot of you guys are still chasing them. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of them ready to go. They're going to be back in stock. And yeah, if I jump on this stream by next week and they're not back in stock, I will let you know. But no doubt by then, if you can send me an email to sales at patriotfootbeds.com, I'll update you as soon as they're ready. So thanks heaps. Have a good one, Marco. Thank you. Thanks again, Online Optics. Great to see you guys. And yeah, I'll catch you next week. Stay rad. Signing out.